Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you like my videos, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give me the thumbs up. Last month I did a hop and with a bunch of talented women. Nicola and I have decided that we're going to continue doing these hops because it was unbelievable because everybody had the same assignment, yet they created something totally different and different ways to do it. So we figured this would be a great way to have you guys learn new techniques through different people. This month, it's an envelope, either out of fabric or out of paper. Those of you that know me know that I have a ton of vintage linens. So I think I'm going to do is cut a piece of this tablecloth that I have that's already cut. And I'm going to create something out of this. So I have both of my fabrics cut. This is going to be the outside fabric. And this is going to be the inside, which is also vintage. However, you can see through it. So I'm going to use a fusible webbing. And that'll also give it some thickness as well. So I'm going to iron that down on the white and possibly on the color. I just want to see how see-through it is. I decided to use Pellon medium weight and it actually worked well. So I'm going to put the two right sides together. And I really liked this eyelet. So what I did is I laid it down on top of the lace. I'm sorry, the linen. And I'm hoping that this works to make when I flip it inside out and when I sew down the edges. So let's hope that works. I'm going to pull this down just to cover this a little bit. And I have plenty of leeway here for that. Because I'll only stitch a little bit on the top. And then this will be my flap. Let me go give that a sew. And I'll leave a little space open on the bottom so I can flip it inside out. Be right. I have it all pinned or clipped. These are the best invention made. I absolutely love them. They're clips and you don't need to use pins. I have this all stitched up now, all around. And now I just need to pull from the inside out. Fingers crossed, everybody. Hopefully it works. And what I do, sometimes I'll trim these. You know what? I'm going to trim these edges first. It just helps. I use a chopstick to poke the corners. So what I do is I just take these corners, not where it's stitched, but above, and just kind of square them off in the corner, or triangle them off, whatever you want to call it. And it just cuts some of that bulk down. Let's give this a whirl. So poking the corners, I just take that chopstick and I just push it in just a little bit, just to make those corners come out, just like that. Now I'll go and iron this, and then my next step is gonna be, this is the inside. I'm gonna close this off. Give this a little more space here. There, I think that's good. So I'm just going to sew it right down the edge. Here's my clutch. You know, normally you wouldn't sew down the sides like this, but I kind of like how it came out. And I want to add some things. This is going to be a gift for somebody. And that swap that I'm doing. So let me find, I found a few things. I found this and I kind of liked that on there. But I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this. Oh, I wanted to show you too. So this created a little pocket, which is kind of cute because I can put ephemera in there for this person. And I'd like to add more laces and more bling. I wanted to figure out a way that I could put something inside here. So when I glued down, I didn't ruin this. What I ended up doing is I cut a piece of wedding fabric down. And I'm going to try to adhere that to the inside of this. I kind of wish I thought of this when I was sewing it, because now it's kind of too late to sew it on the inside. So I'm going to cut a piece off and try to figure out how I'm going to put that inside. I cut that down, and this is extremely thin. So I thought of backing it with some cotton that I was using to make this. This is perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around it. I also had another thought of putting a piece of chipboard or cardstock in between, just so it makes it easier to slip in. Again, I use my favorite. I call them Wonder Clips. I don't even know what they're called, but I absolutely love them. I'm going to use these to clip down. I don't like to glue where I'm sewing because it tends to gum up my needle, and I've had a needle break, so I don't want to do that. Let's see how this works. So it gives it a little more durability for when I do slide it in. Oh no, is this too long? Which I could still cut it. Oh no, it fits nice and snug in there, and I probably don't even have to glue it in there. What I could do is just glue a little bit on the top here. And I can place things in here without them getting wrinkled. I'm just going to add, whoops, I keep hitting this thing. I'm just going to add some Fabri-Tac glue. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to add it right down in here. And if it does show through, it's really not a big deal because I'm going to be adding laces down here. I love this stuff because it's coming through all right. And then what I can do is just add little dribs and drabs. And I'm just going to rub it in just a little. There. And this glue is great because you can just kind of scratch it off. It's like rubber. Not, like I said, too overly concerned about that because I'm going to be putting laces there. Now I'm going to glue this down. This video has been, I'd say, a 5-day process. I don't know, I'm just real busy, I think, and I kind of have a block. And sometimes I'm just too hard on myself. So I've decided that I'm just going to say the heck with it, and I'm going to glue it all down. And usually when I do that, things pull together for me. So I'm going to do that now. When I tack these down, I'm trying to tack it only on these flowers. And I'm just using a little bit, just enough. This stuff is super strong stuff, but I don't want it for you to see through it. And don't forget, I'm adding this top lace as well. I'm trying to keep this as even as possible when I add this. Now what I'll do that I have that tacked down, I'm just going to go through and tack this netting down just slightly because the other lace is going to go on top of it. I got to figure out exactly where I want my placement to be. And I left it a little longer because I'm going to trim it after I figure out what I'm going to do on the ends. I now have most of it glued down, and I was very careful on how I was gluing it. I do not want any of this poking through. And my idea worked by putting the cardstock down first, so now it's not going through my pocket. And I made it so there was just enough room to hold that ribbon down. I left a little space on the sides on purpose because I'm going to trim them. So I was going to put this down here. And I found these that I kind of liked these on the corners. Push it up. It is a different shade of blue, but I'm wondering if it blends in with it. And I also had these, but I was going to add these here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll leave this, because this would be, I think, a little too much if I did that. How the heck did I do that? So I'm going to hold off on that. And I'm really liking how this looks. This one I cut off, so I think I'm going to go find another one so they're somewhat cohesive, unless I did it like this. I could actually do it like that as well. So I've tried a few different avenues, and I'm liking this because I could create another tuck spot pocket back here. But I'm liking this on the back quite a bit. It kind of breaks up all that white on the front. But I need to find a way to dress. Maybe I don't need to dress this up too much because it is the back. Let me think on this. So when I turn to this lace, or the clutch over, I had another idea that I could, because this lace was pretty thick, that I could actually carry it over and glue it down the top here. And I kind of liked the look of that. It just broke up all that white that I really wanted broken up like this. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and it made this pop out even more. So I decided to add this. I think it really finishes off, and it balances this where we have the darker on here and the little bit darker up here. And then I'm going to glue it and carry it over to the other side. I laid the whole thing out straight, and I want to show you how I was able to get this corner in here. And I'm probably going to have to go back and alter it a little bit more. Basically, I have to also be careful that I'm not going to glue the pocket down. So I'm just adding, like I said, just a little tad bit of glue, and I'm making sure it's lined up and pushing it down. And I'll go back and add more glue to these flowers as I go. Now I'm noticing I seem to be going up a little bit here. So I'm just going to pull this. Once I have stuff in it, I'm sure you're not going to be able to tell. This isn't the easiest thing to do evenly. So now what I did on the other side is I was very careful, and I just trimmed. I don't want to trim the wrong thing. I just trimmed here and was able to tuck that in and trimmed up the edge. And that tucked it in quite nicely. Now to get the glue in there. Push it back in. And then I went back, like I said, after I glued it, I had to touch this up just a hair on the other side too. I wanted that to lay flat. Right there. I'm going to let this dry a little because I am going to be folding it over. And I'm also wanting to tack this down a little. Again, like the other side, I'm just trying to tack down. This I'm this I'm tacking down lightly because I am going to be flipping it. So I think the best way to do this is flip it now and then tack it. Just tack this down a little. There. I decided on this piece, and I'm going to make it a pocket. And I like how it's stained a little bit. So I just want to let these things dry so I don't mess up my pocket. And I also think I might have come up with the finished look for it. I could actually wrap this all the way around to the front. Let me see how. Let's do this. My clips on here, just so we can anchor it to wrap it around. See how it looks. I could never do one of these live craft with me video. I just couldn't. I don't know about you, but I'll work on things. I'll walk away. Sometimes I'll walk away for 2 days. So if I did that, I could put this up here. Let's see how we look, how we like it. And then when this folds over, it really doesn't interfere too much with this. Then I have to decide whether I want to add this. So what do we think? Is it too much? Or do we like it? Actually, that kind of looks really pretty. I'm kind of liking this look, ladies. I think we're going to do that. This sold me. Seeing this hang down. This totally sold me. It just gives it a really nice finished look. And it ties in where I was kind of worried that it was too dark here. Oh, I'm so excited. Let me go glue that down. I ended up stepping away for a little bit, like I said I usually do. I added another layer of lace on top here because when I add this, I didn't want the white showing. And next, I'm going to add this down. And like I said, I'm going to start and see if I like it, but I'd like to create another pocket out of this. It's not going to be as firm as the other one on the other side. And then I have this side, which I also added that lace to, and I still might add, let's see, cut this in half. I could still add this piece of lace here. And then I could add this. I love this. This is one of my favorites. So that's not even, I don't think, even going to matter unless I put that up a little higher, because this lace is going to sit right about here. That actually looks kind of pretty there. But I don't know if it's necessary. Let's see the difference. Oh, I kind of like it. Now I'm going to add this trim. And I think the easiest way would be to line it up. It's not very even, so I don't want to waste any of this. So I'm going to go right up to the edge of this. And then I'll trim that little bit on the side. And I'm just going to go right down. I try not to cut it because I've cut it short before. So I try to work with a big piece if possible. That looks pretty even. Now, I'm just going to fold this little piece back here and glue up. What I decided to do, because it's not lean, it's not working out right on the back. And I think what's going to help is just adding another layer. So I'm going to match it up and bring it down just so it matches up so it'll look right. Now this is lining up better. I'm not seeing the white on the bottom. It was kind of annoying me. And I'm not cutting it. I'm just letting it, wrapping it around as one piece. Okay. There we go. There we are. And then I'm going to go and do what I did the last time. Just glue down the bottom. Now I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to end this. Whether I'm going to take a little and overlap or cut. So I'm going to go try to figure that out. Let me glue up my side here. Going with this, I'm just going to add, like I did on the other side, glue just going down here and kind of figure out how I'm going to end it. I think what I'm going to do, so it does glue well, is just pop this. And that's what it looks like. Now we need to go on and figure out if we really wanted to add these on here, or do we want to leave them blank? So I decided to add a little bit of bling. I'm going to do this with the glue gun. There we go. I want to remind you to go and check out the other ladies' hops as well. The hop has been fun to do. I've met a lot of great new women all across the world. There we go. I think that just perks it up a little bit. Now I'm beginning to wonder if I want to add more. I don't want to add too much, but now I'm thinking it needs something a little bit below. Let me cut one of these off, the leaves, and see. So if I do that, I do it underneath like this. I just feel it needs a little something. There we go. Now I just have to figure out how I'm going to end this. So I'm just going to trim it. Glue this down a little here. There we go. I think I'm going to call this done. And I will, on my next video, show you how I'm going to fill it. And again, this is for the hop. So I invite you to go and check out everybody's that are tagged below. Thanks for watching. You guys have a fantastic day. Don't forget to subscribe and give me the thumbs up. Bye-bye.